Welcome to Spooktober! We're all season long, we're doing Halloween themed videos. Go grab your candy and let's get started. How's it going, everyone? ProtoPawn here, back with another Pokemon tier list. Today we're discussing the Dark type as part of our Spooktober event going on this Halloween season. Today, this is going to be a good one for me because Dark typing is one of my favorite types in the game. It is my favorite secondary type to give to a Pokemon to have. So this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a big one for me. I can't stress how much I love this typing. Gen 2 came out with it, this in Steel type, and Dark type is just one of those really good typings to have on your team. Well, anyway, guys, let's get this started. Starting off with the Alolan Raticate and Alolan Persian. Let's just get both of these out of the way. And you know what? Alolan Muck too. Let's just get all of these Gen 1 remakes out of the way first and foremost. Starting off with Raticate here. I don't have really much to say about actually any three of these. They're both just, they're whatever. It's cool that they got the typing, but I think C tier is definitely where all these reside. We've already gone over Alolan Muck in our last tier list video when we did the poison type, and he ended up residing in C tier. Eradicate one is really just the worst in my opinion. I never really liked Eradicate to begin with, but you know, it's just a big old mouse. It's a big old rat, really. But Persian, the only problem with Persian's design here is it really does look like he swallowed a watermelon that got stuck in his head. Like, if it wasn't for this weird shaped head, he would have been fine. He would have been perfectly fine. It still probably would have been in C tier, but at least he wouldn't have looked so goofy. So far, all three of these are just going to go straight to C tier, and I don't have much more to say that. Umbreon, you guys, I would be insane not to put this in S tier. It is one of the best evolutions. In my opinion, he's my second favorite evolution. Vaporeon is my favorite, but again, pure Dark type. Overall simplistic, but very good looking design for Umbreon here. Definitely deserving of the S tier. Honchkrow. Honchkrow is pretty fair design. We'll put him in B tier for now. This is probably going to end up somewhere along this list. I don't think I could put him in A tier, but he is a pretty good Pokemon altogether. So we'll put him in B tier for Bird. B for Bird. Weavile is... I like Weavile a lot. I don't think I could put it in an S tier, but I do like Weavile a lot. So again, like Murkrow and Sneasel getting their well-deserved evolutions, but I do like Weavile definitely more than Honchkrow. The ice typing is cool. Dark and Ice is pretty sweet. Houndoom, this is going to be a tricky one for me because I really like Houndoom. I'm going to put Houndoom in S tier, in all honesty. Do I like him more than Umbreon? Is the question. Dark Fire, really cool. Man, this is hard. These Gen 2 Pokemon are hard because I love Gen 2, and these are some of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon. While I'm debating this, I mean, again, they're both in S tier. This could technically be at the top of A tier at the very lowest grade that I could give this Pokemon, but I love Houndoom. While I'm thinking about that, let's just throw Tyranitar up here. Back from the Rock tier, he's still going to make it at the top of S tier here for me. Very solid design Pokemon. Again, we'll move S tier around at the end of the video regardless, but I'm just trying to think of this like ahead of time here. Mightyena is a fairly designed Pokemon. We'll put him in B tier. I think that's fair. Very cool to see. Pure Dark. Moving on, Shift Tree. Shift Tree is a really good design. I know he's not the greatest combatively, but design-wise, I always really thought he was cool. And honestly, I think I like him better design-wise than these three. So we'll put him at the top of B tier for now. It could potentially move up to the bottom of A tier later, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We don't have to worry about that too much right now. Moving on, Sableye. Sableye I really thought is a cool looking ghost type. But I don't think he's A tier worthy, but he's definitely not gonna go into C tier. Do I like his design more than Weavile? That might become a line here. I think this is fair. I definitely like him better than Haunch Crow. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Moving on, Sharpedo. Sharpedo's going to be an A tier for me. I love Sharpedo. Water Dark. Water is my favorite typing, paired with my second favorite typing. Or not my, well, my favorite typing as a secondary typing. So, yeah, Sharpedo, awesome design. Can't really say much more than that. Cacturn. Cacturn is an underappreciated Pokemon. I definitely think he looks way better than anything here so far in C tier. So we'll put him in B tier. At the bottom here. I do like Mightyana's design better, but I feel like Cacturn doesn't get a fair shake. Moving on, we have Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt, yet again, Water Dark. Not every Water Dark is going to end up in A tier, but I do really like these designs a lot. They're very, very thematic for what they are, so we'll put that there. Absol. Absol is definitely one of my favorite dark Pokemon of all time. We're going to stick it at the top of A tier. Okay, do I like Absol more than I like... I don't know. We'll put him in S tier for now. We'll let this be the baseline, the gatekeeper right now for S tier. Absol, I do really love Absol's design. I really love that Pokemon. Stuntank, we've just recently gone over this in our last video, again with the poison typing. Definitely like his design better than any of these, so he'll go to the top of C tier. Don't really have to think too much on that. Spiritomb. Spiritomb is, I mean, he's a great Pokemon combat-wise. For the longest time, it had 0 weaknesses, being Dark and Ghost. Same as Sableye being Dark and Ghost, but Spiritomb just did way better stat-wise. So yeah, I think that's pretty fair. B, I don't think design-wise he's gonna sit in B. I think C tier again. Like it's very. It is kind of, you know, okay, we'll put it in B tier, because I definitely do like... Man, this is a hard one for me. I'll put it at the top of C tier. I definitely like it better than Stuntank, but I don't think it's B tier worthy. It's really cool. It's creepy looking, but I don't know. C for creepy, I guess. Drapion, we've been over this before. Again, last time. Drapion is a very A for awesome Pokemon design. I think I like Sharpedo better than it, but I definitely like it better than Crawdaunt. I think that's pretty fair. Darkrai, we're just going to throw up into S tier for now. Again, we'll rearrange S tier later. Darkrai is just an amazing, on-point thematic Pokemon. I don't know why they didn't give it like a ghost type secondary, because he does look very ghost type like, but Pure Dark is just, it's fine. It's perfectly fine as is, but definitely one of the coolest dark Pokemon ever designed. Liepard, I like Liepard, but not by a whole lot. I don't know. We'll put it I like it definitely better than Stung Tank. Do I like it better than Spiritomb? I actually do like it better than Spiritomb. But I'm going to put it in C tier. C for cat, because it is a cat. C for cat, that's fair. Crocodile. Crocodile is definitely B tier worthy. I definitely like it better than the Cacturn, the Mightyena, the Honchkrow, the Sableye. But I think I like Weavile better. So we'll put Crocodile right here, third in line for B tier. I think that's perfectly fine. Scrafty is a fine Pokemon. I really don't care to use one, so I definitely like it better than this. I definitely like it better than the Muck. I definitely like it better than the Persian, but I definitely don't like it more than the Stung Tank, so we'll put Scrafty right there. And that's all I really have to say about that Pokemon. Moving on, Zoroark. Yeah. Zoroark is definitely an A tier Pokemon, design-wise. I don't like it more than the Sharpedo, but I definitely like it better than the Drapion, but not by much. Drapion is just a really cool Pokemon, in my opinion. Yeah, Zoroark, Pure Dark. I mean, it's a great looking, it's got a good gimmick and all, but I don't really have much more to say about it. Moving on to the Pawniard line, I didn't put King Gambit as the representative here because I think Bisharp just looks better out of the three Evos, and I think it's S tier. I love this Pokemon line, Steel and Dark. If they would have launched this Pokemon line, even if it was just Pawniard and Bisharp without King Gambit, if they would have just released these two Pokemon back in Season 2 when Season 2 first launched the Steel and Dark type, I think it would have been one of the best Pokemon in the game. I did make a video on this, so go check that out. It's like, if this line was released in Gen 2, how good would it have been? Like, I went through like a whole breakdown of what my thoughts on how good this Pokemon would have been in Gen 2 if on release. I think it would have been one of the best Pokemon that you could have actually obtained. And I did a fair analysis of like where would you have found it in the game. I think it's fair. If you guys haven't seen that video, not a lot of people really have seen that video. I think it's definitely worth a watch. It's only 9 minutes long. Go check it out. It won't take you that long. It's a good breakdown on that line. Moving on, Mandibuzz, Dark Flying. I really don't like this design, in all honesty. It's a good Pokemon. I mean, contrast to like Braviary, I don't know, it's fair. I'll put Mandibuzz here above Stung Tank. I definitely don't like it as much as Spiritomb. Or do I? Do I like... Okay, I think I do like its design a little bit more than Spiritomb, but not by much. So we'll put it right there. Moving on, we're going to cover both of the forms of Hydreigon, and Hydreigon is one of my favorite pseudo-legendaries. It's really hard for me to determine this right now. I think it's A tier worthy. And then this thing here, because this loses the dragon typing, it's like, what, Poison Dark or something like that? Yeah, Iron Jugulus is Dark Flying. Yeah. I like the original Hydreigon better. This is probably going to go straight to the top of A tier, in all honesty. Let's do it that way. I think that's fair. We'll just put those two hand in hand. Sometimes Paradox Pokemon fall short or sometimes succeed in design for me than its original counterpart. But in this case, they're basically the same thing. It's just switching their typings out. Their overall design is fairly similar. So we'll do this. I think that's decently fair. Yeah, I like that. That's a good placement for it. Moving on, we have everybody's favorite ninja water boy here. So Greninja here. Where do we want to put Greninja? I do like Greninja. I think it's a fine design. I'll put it in A tier. I definitely like it better than Crawdon. I definitely like it better than Drapion. Okay, we'll put him here. I think that's fair. A tier for the ninja. I do like me some good ninjas, and it's my two favorite typings, being my favorite primary typing and my favorite secondary typing together, just like Sharpedo here. Design-wise, a lot cooler, in my opinion. It's a ninja theme. Definitely on point theme-wise, so we'll give it that. Moving on, we've got... what? You know what? I forgot to put Samurott in this list. It went right over my head here. Yeah. Samurott, the Hisuian Samurott is very well designed. It definitely is designed better than normal Samurott. I don't think I would use the Samurott in a playthrough, but design, just pure design-wise, I do like it. We will throw Hisuian Samurott right next to Sharpedo here. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fine. Moving on, Pangoro. Pangoro, I'm glad that they made a panda Pokemon. And one of my friends probably absolutely adores this because his username, he's Sir Smexy Pandas, and he loves, like, just absolutely loves pandas. This is probably one of his top favorite Pokemon of all time, more than likely. But as for me, yeah, I think design-wise, it's cool. I think I definitely like it better than the Cacturne. And I think I might like it just a little bit more than the Mightyena. So we'll put it in B tier for B for bear. B for bear. I think that's fine. I think that's pretty fair. Moving on, we have Malamar, which I do like Malamar's design. It's very sinister. I'm not putting it in S tier. We're not doing S for sinister, but I definitely think A tier is fair. And I think I like it better than... I think we're going to separate the Sharpedo and the Hisuian Samurott with this. Yeah, I think that's generally fair. That's a good placement, I think. Moving on, we have the legendary Pokemon, the incarnation of Death himself. However you want to say it, whether it be Yveltal, Yveltal, whatever you want to call it. Probably one of the cooler legendaries of all time. I think A tier is probably where this thing is going to reside. And I still like the Hydreigon's design better, in all honesty, but this is a really good design. We'll put Yveltal right there. A lot of Pokemon in A tier today, gotta say. But I do like dark typing. Until we get to Hoopa. Hoopa here, Psychic Dark. It's interesting looking. It's definitely better than its other form. We'll put it at the top of C. C for cool. I mean, I guess I could move it to low B tier, but it's definitely better than the original, like the other form of Hoopa. So we'll give it that. I think it's interesting. It's interesting enough, I guess. So we'll put it in C tier. Incineroar, everybody's homeboy because of how ridiculously good this Pokemon is competitively. Fire Dark. For me, just again, pure design here. It's fine. We'll put it at the top of B tier for now. It could weasel its way to the bottom of A tier for me, but I don't think it's going to. I think the design is fair. I know it's a good Pokemon competitively. It's one of the best Pokemon competitively of all time as a support, but design-wise, I don't know. I think B tier, top of B tier is perfectly fine for it. Moving on, we have Guzzlord, and Guzzlord is actually, I know he's not the greatest Ultra Beast, but design-wise, I do think he is one of the better designs. Just color-wise, it's amazing. Black, yellow, and that blue. I think all those colors fit very well together. I think it's, you know, just giant nightmarish looking Pokemon. I think it's very cool looking. Dark Dragon. I think it's really cool looking. It's definitely not going to go into S tier for me, but I definitely think it is worthy design-wise of A tier. And I just got to figure out where to put them. I think I like them better than these 5, but I think I still like Sharpedo better. So we'll put Guzzlord right there in the middle of A tier. All right, moving on to Galar. We've got Thievul, and Thievul is, again, one of those more underappreciated mons, but I kind of can see why I do like him, but it kind of still falls into this C category. I think I like Liepard better. Yeah, we'll put him in C tier right there next to Liepard and Mandibuzz. I think that's pretty fair. Grimmsnarl, S tier. He was S tier in Fairy type. He is going to be S tier once again here. I think that's pretty fair. Don't really have to reiterate this too much. Obstagoon is pretty interesting. I don't like him enough to put him in A tier, but I think I like him well enough to put him in B tier. But I like Mightyena better than him design-wise, so he's going to sit more towards the bottom of B tier. Morpeko, B tier. We've covered Morpeko before. I think it's a fine Pika clone design-wise, very cute. Probably gonna sit at the bottom of B tier more than likely here. Urshifu is. I kind of debated if I even wanted to put Urshifu on this list because he's technically, by all means, a fighting type before anything else, and then depending on how you want to, you know, go about evolving him from his Kubfu form, either taking him to the Dark or Water Tower, he's going to get either one of those as a secondary typing. And I probably should just put him on a fighting tier list and just call it done. But in this case, the forms actually mattered the way the design is depicted, and honestly, Dark form just looks better. So I decided to put him here in this list. He's not S tier. He's definitely a decent design, don't get me wrong. I don't really care for the Pokemon all that much, playability-wise. He is really good, don't get me wrong. I definitely like him more than Pangoro. Ooh, this is tricky. I'd much rather use a Honchkrow on a team, so yeah, I'm gonna put Urshifu right next to Pangoro design-wise. And you know what? I'm gonna rearrange Honchkrow and Sableye. I've been debating this all episode here in my mind. Can we get this thing? Thank you. We'll put that there. Yeah, okay. That's fixed. Moving on. Zarude is an interesting looking Pokemon. Dark grass. Fairly cool design. I think I'd much rather use either one of these two on a team. Yeah, okay, we'll put Zarude at the top of A. Do I like it better than Incineroar's design? Yeah, just barely. Just barely. Overquill, we've already talked about Overquill, and Overquill is definitely an A tier Pokemon design-wise. I don't like it as much as I like Sharpedo, but he's definitely worthy of sitting here between him and Guzzlord, in my opinion. So we'll do that. I think that's relatively fair, I think. Alright, now time for everybody to really start hating my decisions here. Meowscarada is a decent, it's a decent typing grass dark. It's a fairly strong. It's gonna reside in B tier for me for sure. I'll give it some fairness. I do think I like it better than all of these, but nowhere near as much as I like these. So we'll be fair. We'll put it pretty high up on the B tier list. Moving on, low kicks. It was S in my bug tier. I definitely think it looks better. It's definitely cooler as a bug design than a dark design. So I'm having trouble depicting if I want it in S tier or maybe kick it just barely down to A tier here. Do I like it better than Hydreigon's design? Actually, yeah. We'll just keep it in S tier, guys. I think that's fair. It is a really good looking dark bug Pokemon. Its design is very cool. Mabostiff. Yeah, Mabostiff. Yeah. I think he's a good looking dog. He's a good doggo. We'll put him in C tier. I think he's definitely better looking than these, but I think Spiritomb looks cooler, so we'll put this here next to the Stung Tank. I think that's fine. I don't have too much to say about it. I've never played the generation. Moving on, we have Bombardier, and I just don't really care for the design. It's very bland. I'm not saying that I would rather use it than a Galarian Raticate. I'd still probably use this before Galarian Raticate, but only purely based off of its typing, Dark Flying over Dark Normal. but I still think I like the Raticate's design better, so we're going to stick this in D tier. We finally got our first D tier Pokemon here. Brute Bonnet is a reform of Mungus, and I think it actually looks quite decent. I like it better than that. I think I like it better than this. And this, and this. I think this is what's going to separate the Thievul. I still like Liepard's design better. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to have to put it. Don't have much to say on it. As for the rest of these, it's kind of going to go with that way with a few exceptions here. This thing, this Wu Chen thing, again, this is like a D tier for me. I like it better than this, but this just doesn't really work for me all that much. Again, I'd probably still use it just because the typing, I mean, it's grass dark. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I'd probably use it because its stats probably are better than the Raticate, but again, design-wise, I think the Raticate actually is just a little bit better. Chen Pao is a phenomenal Pokemon. It is so phenomenal that it is pretty sure it's banned in like the higher formats, I believe. Like it is just a phenomenally good competitive Pokemon, and I do really like its design. It's not S tier, but it's definitely going to reside in A tier somewhere. You know, it's just coming down to actually moving these things around. I still like this better. I still like Sharpedo better. Overquill, but I think we're gonna land this thing right here between the Guzzlord and the Overquill. No, I'm gonna put Overquill over here. I'll put it next to the Sharpedo. Yeah, I like it. It's a really cool design. Dark Ice is a pretty interesting combo. I think it's pretty cool. Ting Lu is next. Ting Lu is still a fair design. Dark Ground. It's a fair design. I don't mind it too much. We'll put it this actually at the top of C tier, I think. I don't really have much more to say on it. This thing is D tier. This thing is a phenomenal Pokemon. It's competitive wise. I think it's also banned. I just really don't care for the design aspect of it. Do I like it better than the Raticate? Not the muck. Alright, fine. Raticate is going to bump itself down into D tier here, but just because... Yeah, I do like this just slightly more design-wise, but it's definitely not C-tier worthy for me. So, okay, we did finally eliminate the Raticate from C-tier. Moving on, we come to our last Pokemon in Roaring Moon, and Roaring Moon, Salamence is one of my favorite pseudo-legendaries and is very high on my dragon tier list. Roaring Moon being literally the same typing as Hydreigon here. But I'm gonna... This is tough. This is tough for me. I'm going to stick it in S tier. I'm going to stick Roaring Moon in S tier. That actually really doesn't surprise me all that much. Because, again, Salamence is one of my favorite dragons. And it's quote-unquote retrained. Its primitive form is really cool. I don't know why its primitive form would have decided to drop its dark typing for just pure flying typing. It just doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. This is fine. That is the end of Pokemon to put on the list. Now we just have to rearrange S tier, guys. Let's see. Yeah. No, I definitely like Houndoom better than Grimmsnarl. I definitely like Umbreon better than Grimmsnarl. And I definitely like Bisharp better than Grimmsnarl, so we're really starting to transform this scape here. I really like Bisharp a lot. I really do. This is like a tie. Don't let these two. These are interchangeable. This is an actual tie between these two, but I'm just gonna set it up this way, just for the heck of it. I think that's fair. Tyranitar. I mean, obviously, Darkrai has the most thematic theme as a dark type. And because of that, I kind of want to put it above Tyranitar, but at the end of the day, Tyranitar is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I mean, you could probably say that against this, but as far as like mythicals and legendaries go, like obviously this is why this is here. And it's just on point theme-wise. Man, Roaring Moon. I think this is what we're looking. I think this is going to be the final list right here, guys. I think that is as fair as I can get this. S tier is tricky for me. Again, it's close. It's actually really close with all of these, in all honesty. It's just barely one thing nudging out the other. I think, man, this is really tripping me up. This is really tripping me up. I really want to give it to Darkrai. Design-wise, we'll give Darkrai the most thematic, on point. I'd still probably much rather have a Tyranitar on my team over it, but I think just pure design-wise, I have to give it to Darkrai. Darkrai is by far the coolest dark Pokemon to ever be created. It is literally the embodiment of it. And that's going to be the list, guys. That is going to be the dark type tier list for me, guys. Again, leave in a comment below who is your favorite dark type. Put it in a comment below. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I hope to catch you guys in the next one when we cover the ghost type. Stay tuned for that. That is going to be our Halloween special for sure. So until then, guys, again, if you liked the video, hit the like. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me if you did. But anyway, guys, I've taken up enough of your time today. So until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Take care. I'm ProtoPawn. Peace.